Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk a little bit about, it's kind of going to be a bit of a mix. It's going to be talking about the Vampire Academy, Julia Plec, and Legacy. And the reason why I'm kind of talking about all three of them is because the same person that did Legacies is now doing the Vampire Academy, and in some ways I feel like this is the show that she originally wanted to do when she did Legacies. Now don't get me wrong, the concept for Legacies, was brought on by the Parkland shooting, and she wanted to make a show that young kids could be the heroes of their own story. I don't know whose decision it was to make seasons 1 through 3 an absolute dumpster fire, but I'm pretty sure she didn't have that in mind, okay? And this is a show that's supposed to be in the same universe as the other two shows. The tone, the change in, Monster of the Week, all that stuff, it felt like it was almost like in its own universe. Now, again, the same person that did Legacies is doing the Vampire Academy. Now, I'm excited for this show for two reasons. One, well, we'll go with two. Two, I love this genre. Okay, I love supernatural stuff, vampires, like, Teen Wolf, stuff like that. That's my thing. The first reason is somewhat of a shameless reason, but it's really because as of right now, the Vampire Diaries universe ended. Now, yeah, Julia said that, she still has more stories to tell, and, they're going to take a beat for a little bit, and they're in talks with, WB and CW and everything like that to possibly come up with another show, and, fingers crossed. But I feel like in a lot of ways, I am substituting the Vampire Academy show because, Legacies and that universe, well, it's not existing anymore, okay? It's donezo for right now. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, when you try to substitute a show with another show, it tends not to work. But I saw the preview of this new show, and it looks pretty decent. Now, I know there's a lot of people that is complaining that it's like, oh, I hope it's not too far from the book. I hate when they sit there and they change stuff around. And now, with the Vampire Diaries, the book and the show are like black and white. That is for the best, because I took a look at some of the stuff in the book, and let's just sit there and say, if they made that into the show, like from that material, no one would have wanted to watch it, okay? That show would have crashed and burned in the first season because, most of these characters was just completely unlikable. Elena was just an awful character. And people didn't like her in the show. And if people didn't like her in the show, I'm telling you, the book was a lot worse. So, them doing those changes was for the best. Now, I haven't read the books of this new show, so I don't really have anything to compare to. Now, I did watch the movie, and the movie was absolutely terrible. And I don't understand on what level. Like, I'm still just mystified, because you had Twilight, and I know a lot of people give Twilight grief for, pretty much everything, but there was a lot of cool stuff in Twilight that they put into the Vampire Diaries and originals and stuff like that. There was some really good stuff in there. And I just don't understand how you can actually, for people that really complained about Twilight, this was actually worse. Halfway through the movie, I had to struggle to finish that movie. And I love that, against supernatural, werewolves, vampires, and stuff like that. But this movie was just terrible. And I can tell right now that the characters like Rose and the princess, whatever, I can tell that they're going to be better characters in the show, because at this point you can only go uphill. Okay, you can only go uphill. So I know that it's going to be, the characters are going to be better. Some of the fight scenes or whatever looks like they're pretty cool. Julia Plec has this ability to make really good suspenseful moments and things of that nature. Also, on a sidebar, there's actually, I think there's like at least maybe one or two actors from the Vampire Diaries. If you watch the Vampire Diaries, Caroline's mom is actually in it. I don't know if she's just doing a walk-on scene or she's like an actual regular, but I saw her in the photos and I'm just like, okay. So I'm personally looking forward towards this show, mostly because there's still an imaginary hole in my heart for Legacies ending and the Vampire Diaries universe ending for now. And yeah, I know that Julia Plex, she said that she was in talks with the CW to possibly make another show, because she says she still had ideas for that universe. I think that's great, and I desperately hope that she continues that series in some form of way, because I'm still angry. I'm angry. There's a part of me that's really angry. I've been watching that show, that universe, for about 13 years. That's how long, all three of them, combined or whatever. So, I'm a huge fan of that genre, of that universe that she created. That being said, I don't understand what the hell they were thinking with the tone change, going against Malivore for 3 seasons. And yeah, people talk about season 4 was the best season that they did, and I can totally agree with that. But it still felt like it was a bit of stank from season 3 lingering in there, And even the second to the last episode, as great as that episode was, and that was literally the pinnacle so far of that show, it was still plagued with so many issues. I'll give a couple examples since, I'm talking about it. There's a point where Aurora is sitting there fighting Hope. And Hope tries to destroy the staff that can kill him. And I'm sitting there thinking, do you really think that this guy Ken, which is a great name for a god, you really think that he took all this time to make us a weapon that you can just simply snap your fingers and just be like, oh, now I turned it into ash? So she's all like, oh, yeah, it's god magic, and we're on an even playing field. I'm like, no, bro, the staff is magic. It's god magic. It's magic proof. You're not magic proof. As much as I love that episode, there's so many problems that you just sit there and think, what are you doing? And before anyone sit there and say, oh, well, it's a CW show, there was great fight scenes. And the originals and the Vampire Diaries, and they made sense. That episode made so little sense that if I think about all the problems it will probably make me sad because it was probably one of my favorite episodes throughout that whole series. But going on to, again, Peacock and everything like that, I just feel like this is a show that she truly wanted to make. 10 episodes, a consistent story, not really a lot of fillers. They're not going to be doing some stupid Monster of the Week crap. And I feel like this show, with her running it, is going to be great. And I feel like a lot of people that enjoy her work is going to be flocking to watch this show. If nothing else, for the simple fact that, well, we want to see Julia do something with vampires and supernatural and stuff like that. And if we got to sit there and watch it on the Peacock Network, fine. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much about it. I'm gonna have to sit there and kind of change up the title a little bit, but I think I kind of mixed a little bit both of them in there. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to this new show? What do you think about the trailer so far? Do you think it went too far? Do you think they're gonna go too far from the book? Or do you think that sometimes going too far? Or do you think that making a certain departure from the book can be a good thing? Tell me why and why not in the comment section below. I want to thank you all for watching. Be safe, and I will see everyone in the next video.